And good morning, Monday morning, afternoon, wherever you may be. It's friggin' Monday
all day long.
with a vengeance.
Yep.
Um, One of the first rules of intelligence is to always follow the money. And the Georgia runoff is becoming rather interesting when you start following the money. Purdue and Loeffler, neither one of them has gotten any significant funds from outside of the state, and most of their donations have been less than $100,000. Granted, there are a couple that are over $100,000. However, comma, when you start looking at Warnock and Ossoff,
The Democrat side.
the Democrat side, Alphabet, i.e., Google, donated $747,000 to Warnock and $952,000 to Ossoff. University of California donated $500,000 to Ossoff. Apple $295,000. Microsoft $275,000.
No, it gets better.
Amazon $255,000. Facebook $225,000. Emory University, Stanford University, Harvard University combined a total of $400,000. U.S. government, unspecified, $150,000. Kaiser Permanente, which is a West Coast firm, medical firm, $137,000. Health and Human Services, $129,000. Columbia University, $107,000.
Ain't that some school up in Yankee Land?
Oh yeah.
Yep. University of Washington, $97,000. Mass General Brigham, $91,000.
I've got a question. Since when does the budget for the United States Department of Health and Human Services have a political contributions line item?
It doesn't.
And why is next year's budget for the United States Department of Health and Human Services not being reduced by however much they decided to donate?
I want to know where these public universities, who are always demanding donations and tax breaks and every other damn thing on the planet, want to sit here and suddenly say, oh, we need to donate to political causes. Oh, we're going to weigh in on one side of an election in Georgia.
Yeah.
None of them are anywhere close to Georgia, except maybe Columbia and some of the other Ivy League piss holes.
Well, and Warnock got basically the same amounts, less about $50,000 from all those same corporations, including $159,997 from the U.S. government, Health and Human Services, $104,000.
What in the hellfire has Kaiser Permanente, who has nothing anywhere close to Georgia, donating to a Georgia Senate runoff?
I don't understand where a government agency ethically can donate to one side or another of the.
It can't. It shouldn't.
Shouldn't be able to, but they did. Even better for Warnock, City of New York, $76,000
The city of New York.
to Warnock. Yes.
I want to know where this money came from. I want to know who did it. And in the case of the federal government, I would love to see the person who did it given a rogues march and drummed out and cashiered and then hung.
There are ethical considerations that bother me.
Yeah. Yeah. But you and I both know Intel is where it's at.
Mhm.
You know, what are they buying?
Speaking of Intel, moving on to something else. I find it extremely difficult, and I've had several folks that I trust on the stateside side of dirty tricks assure me that this is normal, and I still don't believe it. I can understand how the number 3 person in government, the third person in line for the nuclear football, the leader of the House of Representatives and possessor of a whole bunch of secrets from the federal government. Somebody needs to explain to me how the hell you can walk up to a primary access point to her main dwelling and dink around for multiple minutes and only have something happen after apparently a random passerby calls the San Francisco Police Department to show up.
Let's also add that there is no random passerby on that street. It's a cul-de-sac last I checked.
And a security, high security cul-de-sac.
And it's a very expensive neighborhood in San Francisco. You don't randomly stroll into that damn thing. That's like saying I randomly walked into the vault at Fort Knox and walked out with gold bricks.
If I can dink around a primary access point for multiple minutes, I can get through that primary access point.
Yeah.
I can spread anthrax in the carpet, botulism in the toothpaste, or any number of bugs.
Yeah.
I can also ransack the house for stuff laying around. I don't know, like anything marked top secret SCI.
Yep.
Which I'll
Yeah.
guarantee you, there's probably laying out.
Electronics, jewels.
And Jesse raises a good point. And just the door, not the bricks.
Yeah.
Well,
Like they taped it off.
I don't care about that. That may or may not be.
But when you look at what happened to Mitch,
That's another one. Again, how do you get to dink around Mitch McConnell's house and not be eating gravel?
but they spray painted the bricks and everything.
There should have been a high-powered team of knuckle draggers hanging
This,
around to make sure.
that was in Kentucky, not in DC.
Either way,
Yeah.
there should have been a high-powered team of knuckle draggers hanging around, ready to, I don't know, body slam a Chinese agent from getting through her front door.
No. Remember, the Chinese are okay. They're bringing her what she gets.
Well, I believe that the whole thing with Pelosi was a setup.
Yep.
It's looking that way, but
Yeah.
I do not. I've got Mike telling me that you wouldn't believe how piss poor pardon my French, that was 7 minutes in, how piss poor the security over American politicians is. I refuse to accept that it is harder for me to get into a pissant African warlord's Swiss chalet, which is his second vacation home. It's harder for me to get into that than into the house of the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Yep.
I hate to tell you, Ian, but Mike's right. There is basically no security on any Congress critter's home of residence. That's a fact.
What the fuck? Do they
Because
not know we're living in the 21st century?
nope, they think their power protects them.
If I had access to politicians' houses during the 80s that were unprotected,
Yeah, I know.
the course of history would be a lot different.
Only because you didn't have a chance to go try that for yourself.
If I had access to foreign politicians' houses,
I know.
apparently it was harder for me to get into a mud hut of an African warlord
Yep.
than in Nancy Pelosi's front door.
Yep.
Well, the Chinese find it easy to get in Nancy Pelosi's front door and probably her back door too.
Do people understand how up this is?
Yeah.
Yeah, just slightly.
And Cedar raises, and this is the truth, because U.S. is a high trust society.
Not that high.
Yes.
Yes, that high.
Well, it shouldn't be. That's just stupid and naive.
Yes, it is. That is exactly right. And sooner or later, one of them's going to pay for it.
How the hell do we still own this country?
I don't know.
Well, God doesn't love just mad Englishmen and fools.
No wonder the friggin' KGB, which is not exactly competent, I'm here to tell you, lasted as long as they did. Apparently, they were up against the American junior varsity.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Ian, think of it this way. This is a capitalist business opportunity.
I will guarantee you that I can't get into Bill and Melinda Gates' house that easy.
I got 20.
No, you can't, because they actually have security.
Capitalist society. They paid for security.
Like
Seriously, if
Zuckerberg.
my name was Mitch McConnell, I would have a platoon from frickin' Blackwater, whatever the hell they call themselves these days, guarding me and my immediate family 24/7. You want to come knock on my Kentucky door? Oh, son,
Yes.
you're going to meet some pain.
Who's going to pay for it?
Trust me.
I'm Mitch McConnell. I better have a means of paying for it.
You don't.
She's got multiple millions of dollars. She can
Man.
afford.
She does, yes.
She can
Nancy
afford
does.
a rent-a-friend from Blackwater.
And actually, Mitch McConnell's wife is from a very loaded shipping family. He married a very wealthy Chinese
Anybody
woman.
that's been in Congress longer than 2 sessions has enough to rent a friend from Blackwater or Triple Canopy
Yeah.
or
You know, you could just go completely foreign and exotic and hire whoever Executive Outcomes is posing as these days.
their executive outcomes is don't get me
Hey,
started.
Sarah, welcome to the Nut House today.
Executive outcomes has gone a little score. They're doing
Yeah.
investigative stuff now, which really confuses me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I heard executive outcomes is back. Yes, you're doing what? Investigating the media. What the fuck?
Well, they're investigating, but they're not telling us how they're investigating.
Oh, if I know the colonel, they're
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, there's investigating, and then there's investigating.
there's investigating and there's lead pipe investigating. Right? You beat a journalist on the shins with lead pipe until he tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, and that's probably what's happening.
And I'll give it colonel.
Eh,
The other thing that I thought was rather interesting as I was driving back from Amarillo was listening to the news and Republicans asking the question about why there was a glass enclosure in the House of Representatives. As it turned out, as the day went on, that was for people that were in COVID quarantine that Pelosi wanted there to vote
So that she could get back into
so
her
she
spot.
could get back into the majority
Oh, whatever.
or the Speaker of the House.
I really don't care about the internal politics of because we're just trading one lizard person for another.
Yep.
So I really, whoever's wearing the Nazi suit, if they lost the election for Speaker of the House, we'll just swap into somebody else's suit.
Yeah. 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 The question is it the same one that Keith Richards?
No, I'm pretty sure that Keith Richards is an octopus.
and he's sustained by cocaine.
Yeah.
He's sustained by a level. He's probably actually ingested about the same amount of cocaine as the cocaine bear.
Well, let's face
What's
it.
funny is that story's real.
Yeah.
Whatever Keith Richards is, and folks, he's not human. Whatever alien life form Keith Richards is requires cocaine to exist.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can. And it was probably here 3 days after dirt was created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other good one was the prayer yesterday.
Oh,
for
good
God's sake.
hell.
Oh, for
Words
God's sake.
have freaking meaning.
Yeah.
Why is it these numpties? I mean, let's back up for a second.
Numpty is a Scottish insult, by the way.
This schmuck is just making the stereotypes about Missourians even worse.
Apparently, he's originally from Texas. Makes me twitch.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's worse. Is his attempt during the prayer to placate every god out there? Or his manglingly human language on closing the prayer? I'm not sure which is worse, actually.
Well, I want to know what a women is.
Hey, women.
It's a nonsense word.
Yeah.
Because he does not seem to understand that amen is a closure. It is not referencing man.
Well, remembering this is the same bunch of lizard people that were just certain that if one more of Jonathan landed on Guam, it would tip over.
Jonathan says he has a portrait hidden somewhere.
Well,
yeah,
Has anybody
Keith Richards probably does.
seen Keith Richards and Betty White in the same place? Because I'm willing to bet that they are hunting each other and have been hunting each other over the eons.
Yes.
And only one can live.
And only one gets the crown.
Oh,
How do they decide who wins? Is Keith Richards' entire life as a rock and roller just been testing him and getting him ready up to this point? Just like, here, how many rails of cocaine can you do in a single sitting?
Not
And they'd
really.
have a snort off to see who
well,
becomes king.
it's the other thing is a couple of people made allusions to Men in Black.
It's either that or the quickening, and either Betty White or Keith Richards is going to take the other one's head and become emperor of the world.
Yeah.
My little lady has this.
See, there's money's on Betty.
Mine too.
Yeah.
My Little Honey's her has a poem by the I think poet laureate of Scotland. Um, No Keith No, which if you haven't heard that, um, she goes into these adorable giggle fits every time she plays it. And if you haven't heard Oh Keith No or No Keith No, I'm not sure which one. It is the spoken version is fantastic.
Why am I thinking no, John Ringo? No.
Well, it's about him climbing
Yeah.
a coconut tree
Oh, yeah.
and falling off and getting
Oh,
himself
yes.
a skull fracture in his 60s.
Yeah.
And he survived, apparently.
Yeah, that's right. She did play that one.
Oh,
night.
God.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Murray Lachlan Young.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yep. Found it.
The other thing that was kind of interesting in the perusal over the weekend of the interwebs is that nowhere on Google will you find any reference to the data forensics talking about a 12,000 vote switch in Georgia by the data forensics experts.
That's why is anybody still using Google?
I don't know. The only place I found it was DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo. If you're
Yeah.
not using an actual, honest to God, fairly neutral search engine,
Yeah.
you're sucking at life in the 21st century.
Yep.
Google and Facebook are doing their best to steer everybody the way they want to go.
Yep.
Use DuckDuckGo, or there used to be one a T1 I used all the time that was
Oh,
Tiana or Tavana or something that was
Yeah.
fantastic. It may have gone away.
yeah, it went away. That was one that got shut down.
Yeah, it was completely neutral.
Foxfire is, yeah.
Come try that one. I used
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo a lot.
Brave. Has anybody here tried that one at all?
Brave might have been what the T1 morphed into. It had a unique algorithm for searching that would come up with
Yeah.
references that nothing else would. It had
Yeah.
a really unique algorithm that nobody else. I think Ask Jeeves might have bought them.
Yeah.
And then God, I miss. Oh, what the hell was the? There was one. Cause I'm weird. I stumbled across a search engine for the occult internet. I think it was. I forget the hell it was called. And if you put in non-occult phrases, it was a hell of a search engine.
Yeah.
What the hell was it called? I forget that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Alma found a book on magic
Just one.
from the early times, an authoritative book,
Oh,
which she posted about today, which was fairly interesting, especially if you're a writer.
it wasn't a Malleus Maleficarum, was it?
No,
Oh, good.
this is actually a researched
Oh,
and fairly neutral portrayal. So anyway, on a writing front, I posted that 1 star that I got for April Fool and generated 20 sales.
Yeah.
So
1 star sell books, guys.
yeah.
The right 1 star. Don't just spam them. Put some art into that damn thing, people.
Yeah.
But
So
craftsmanship is all but gone these days.
Yeah.
Again, I pointed to Congressman from Missouri. That moron.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that multiple bolts of lightning didn't strike the speaker's podium, because he literally tried to include every god.
Yeah.
Brahma, I mean, and I'm not sure that's actually the way you pray to Brahma. But
I thought the only way I pray to Brahma is, Lord, bless this steak.
yeah.
point.
Yeah. Cedar, usually if the book's bad, I'm like you, I'll either wall it or just move on one or the other. But when one thing that I've noticed with the 1 star reviews is I decided to start looking some of these people up. And it's amazing the number of 1 star reviews that these individuals seem
Oh,
to
yeah.
give out.
And it's amazing because I did this when we did spot reps. We got a 1 star that was
Yes.
basically puked up word salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a deep dive on that individual. And it was from some of his other 1 stars, it was quite obvious he never read the books.
Yeah.
And he had 1 starred Larry Correa and 1 starred a John Ringo book. And starting to think, my poor innocent self, Starting to think maybe there was an agenda to those 1-stars.
Either that or a trend, one or the other.
Mhm.
Same thing.
Nah, not necessarily. Hey, Vince. Yeah, real life sucks. Yeah, Cedar, they do tend to be angry reviewers.
And
And
not just angry, stupid.
Yeah.
Which is a pity.
well, the thing is, I think it's a continuation of the Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh God, yes. Apparently, several of our friends had short stories in MAGA something or other.
Yeah,
Mona Lisa and a couple other folks had short stories in this, basically a Trump anthology. Well, the publishing company that published this anthology went paws up
Yeah.
in 2019,
20,
20. Anyway,
yeah, 2019.
they pulled all books from Amazon no later than January 2019. No, 2020. Pulled all books no later than January of 2019 and 2020.
I think it was January 2019.
Anyway, come December of 2020, and they get a raft of
1-star reviews.
1-star negative reviews over a book which hasn't been in print for a year or
Yeah.
more. I don't know. Whole bunch of folks were getting together, and apparently, if you're not an author but you're a reader, you can report the reviews.
Huh.
Yes. And a whole bunch of folks were getting together in back channels to see if they could get some leftist rights to comment on Amazon yanked.
Well, that would be nice. Well, hell, we did Cal Exit. Remember how many 1-stars we got on that one? And all of those were leftist.
Oh yeah. Well, we trashed their promised land.
Yeah.
The leftist mecca. I did. I stabbed somebody in it.
Yeah.
I've got to write a story where I don't stab somebody.
Yeah. That'll be a cold day in hell.
I just realized that most of my short stories, somebody winds up getting stabbed.
Yeah.
I fail to see how this is a problem.
Well, it tends to be a one-note kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, what cracked me up was when Kenny Lane gave us a 5-star and went, "This is all fucking true." And it's the reason I left California.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
exactly that reason.
One of the throwaway elements in my story was geofencing cell phones.
Yeah.
Everybody's cell phone was geofenced with an algorithm, and if you got outside of it, it raised a flag.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're considering that for COVID folks.
Yeah. Oh, it was coming.
I hate being a Cassandra.
Hey, Sarah, good to see you. Yes, we portrayed their utopia as less than paradise.
Their utopia is a pile of crap.
I stabbed somebody in it.
Yeah.
I could.
And apparently, I gave somebody else nightmares. That's something else. My stabbing scenes apparently give people nightmares.
I don't see how.
They're realistic.
Yeah.
And that brings up a point.
Uh-oh.
I wrote April Fool to be fairly realistic. I make it a point to try to write realistic fiction.
Part of why I enjoy it.
What are you about?
Sarah, you're either back here or back over there. And if you make no sense, that's fine. You're making a lot more sense than we normally do, so you have that. But I tried to write, something that realistically could potentially happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the requisite amount of research. But it's funny because some people, the majority of the reviews wanted expanded into a full book.
This is a good problem to have.
If I didn't have 3 other things going on at the same time.
Welcome to my world. Sorry. No sympathy on this side.
All right.
You find sympathy between shit and syphilis.
Yep. Well, that was.
Oh, damn it, Sarah, you didn't come see us.
What?
She just got back from. She just got back to Europe from Texas.
Which part of Texas? I mean.
Yeah, she's not saying.
We're bigger than some European countries.
I know
Most
that.
European countries.
She ate her fill of Tex-Mex barbecue and steak. Good girl.
There you go. But that's to rip off something I thought you were doing. I tried to write a knifing scene one time that was Hollywood and
Yeah.
not based on experience. And it's one of the few things that I highlighted, Control X, and deleted.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, that's physically painful to write.
Yeah.
Damn, Sarah, we'd have known when you were in DFW, we'd have come down there.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she was in DFW.
She was in the Metro Mess?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, there will be the other Sarah. Yes, there will be another addition to RimWorld. I'm writing that now. As a matter of fact, I went over 12,000 words this morning on it. Oh, Cedar, your daughter's moving to Texas tomorrow. Where at?
Again, big state.
Yeah, well.
Cedar, you following her?
Oh. I wanted to see.
I'm currently writing a story about a wizard hiding out in a trailer park.
Yeah, I got to work on mine.
And his dog has a litter of puppies
Uh-oh.
from a neighbor's dog. And so you've got a world-class wizard who's about to get in a fight with his werewolf neighbor over the paternity of litter of puppies.
Ken says he liked the knifing scene in Cal Exit.
Thank you.
Ken's also retired Coast Guard.
Okay.
Seguin.
Seguin?
Yeah, Seguin.
Whoa, Seguin's on the other side of the state.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a drive.
We could make it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let me find Google Maps. Hang on a sec.
And the rest of your question depends on family stuff.
Oh, I hear family stuff and I went in the wrong direction.
Oh, who else is going to show up?
Who the hell? What
Oh.
the hell's in Seguin, Texas?
Now this goes back to driving too. And the other Sarah who is in Europe can vouch for
5
this.
hours and 20 minutes like that.
About New Braunfels. That's on hill country. That's pretty
Yeah.
territory.
I haven't
Yeah,
been down
that's
there
a
yet.
that's a nice little drive.
That's pretty
You know, we
territory.
could probably go hit some good barbecue joint over there.
I think Guadalupe River goes through there too.
But
Ooh,
you know,
college.
what we consider a normal drive out here, most people in Europe would freak out about.
Yeah.
They literally, the state of Texas would cover most of Europe.
Central Europe.
Yeah, Central Europe.
I remember reading a snippet from somebody whose mind was blown, who was visiting in-laws. She had married an Englishman and visiting in-laws in England, and for a holiday, and couldn't figure out why his father wasn't at the whatever holiday celebration was, and found out that nobody, he was too far away to visit. And when she finally boiled it down, he was, oh my God, 45 minutes away.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yesterday, I said, baby, we should go for a drive. It's been a while since we did that as a family. We drove into the Metroplex all the way to Allen to visit a friend along the way.
Yeah.
Drove back in the same day.
A 45-minute drive is probably about 45 minutes in Texas, and that's Sunday evening church.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Bug Scuffle, the first Bug Scuffle, Amarillo, where everybody did all of their business, was 60 minutes out, and that
Mhm.
was at 70 miles an hour.
I remember driving to work for my first real adult job where I was actually getting a W-2. And it was 45 minutes if I drove fast, an hour if I drove the speed limit. And I remember the time I got away with doing it in 45 minutes, but that was because I was taking my dad to work at the same time. I had him in the car. I'm not going to abuse that privilege at all.
Yeah, Jonna says routinely drive 10 hours for a fun weekend. Yep, we do
Yep,
that.
We do that a lot.
Yep.
And Jesse said you could start in the Gulf Coast, drive north and west for 18 hours, and get lost in some of the most godforsaken near desert and still be in Texas,
Yes.
which is true.
Yes.
What is it? Somebody, El Paso to Texarkana is further than Texarkana to Chicago.
Yeah.
Now, Texas or El
And
Paso.
I made that drive in a day.
El Paso to LA is shorter.
Why?
Is shorter. No, that's Catanzaro. Anyway,
El Paso to Texarkana?
Yeah.
Why?
845 miles.
because it needed to be done.
And I made it in 14 hours.
I used to do the 12-hour trip to Houston and the 14-hour trip to El Paso once a month when I was
Yeah.
back on transporting prisoners.
Yep. Yeah, but to us, that's nothing.
I drive from here to Midland for
Yeah.
crying out loud. I do that 2 or 3 times in a week.
Yeah. But out here, we don't think anything about driving 2 hours to have dinner.
Nope.
In
Yeah.
Europe,
Bill's Catfish Shack.
Yeah.
Oh,
in Europe,
I'll race you there.
We didn't take Johnny to Bill's, did we?
No.
we never have. We need to do that next trip.
Yes.
But in Europe, that would be 3 countries over,
Or 4.
or 4, yeah, depending on where you start.
Yeah. But if you have good German engineering behind you, you can make it from Berlin to Paris in 1 tank.
Donovan.
Sorry, it's Euros. I can't help but poke fun at them.
And
Wow.
Cedar trumps us by growing up in Alaska, grocery shopping was a 10-hour round trip. Yep.
Mhm.
Well, I remember
Well,
all
you
the
remember where
ranch lines.
Bishop, California is?
Yeah.
Used to be, they didn't have a Costco out there. Your options were to go to Reno or go to LA County to get a Costco.
Yeah.
I remember the ranch wives, all the Suburbans and Escalades
Oh, yeah.
heading towards Amarillo and coming back every Friday.
There's a sister at church. Her husband's a dentist here in town. He does pretty good money. She keeps a Costco membership, and at least once a month,
Mhm.
she gets kids in the minivan and drives to Costco. The nearest Costco is all the way in the Metroplex,
Yeah.
2 hours away.
Yep.
She thinks nothing of that.
Yeah.
And
Now,
no-
my aunt would drive from Fort Stockton to El Paso once a week, buy supplies
Mhm. The number of times
in a Suburban with a 454.
I pulled over a Suburban, a dirty, beat-up Suburban, and have some sweet lady jump my butt because her ice cream's melting and she's got to get home.
And you went, yes, ma'am, have a
I
nice
said,
trip.
yes, ma'am. And then I called her husband and said, can you ask Ms. Ronnie Lou to slow down next time? And he went, well, I'll try, but
Yeah. Ain't never succeeded before. That was my aunt. Never had a wreck, but she,
Can you ask Raynell to slow down next time? Well, I'll try, but how well did you break out? She jumped my ass. I figured.
oh yeah. Oh yes. And then there were the 1-horse towns
I love one-horse sounds.
that made their money off of people running through them too quickly.
I hate that part of one-horse sounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Esteline.
Esteline.
Stay clear of Esteline, folks. That's a nasty little town.
Yeah.
So is Mantua up in North Utah. And the sheriff and the police chief that instituted that particular set of handiwork just got busted last year for DUI driving.
Yeah.
A county over, and he tried to bully his way out of it while intoxicated.
Yeah, that ain't gonna win.
No, it didn't.
Esteline is a place where Texas Ranger Leo Hickman showed up with a chainsaw to start cutting trees down.
Yeah.
Let me guess, trees which happen to be obscuring the.
Speed limit
Speed
sign.
sign.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that was where I got kangaroo courted back in '73 driving to California.
Not a shock. In the 90s, when I was at Boat Scuffle, the chief of police and only member of the Esteline Police Department had a brand new Pursuit Mustang every year in a town of like 300 people.
And he still has Pursuit Mustangs.
Are they as new as they used to be?
Yep.
Things haven't changed, I see.
Nope. Still black.
Still parked under that one awning.
Yep. Things have not changed in 40 plus years,
No,
other than the age of the car.
no, they're not going to.
Oh, Valdosta, Georgia. Yeah.
I have a bunch of buddies from the military who are from Valdosta. Easy ways to start fights. Get them talking over who had the best football team and say anything bad about UGA or Georgia Tech.
Well, you got to understand, Valdosta is a little different.
Oh, Whittle.
A
Well,
little.
no, in their sports teams.
Oh, gotcha.
Valdosta was nationally ranked as one of the top high school football teams in the United States for many years.
But they were proud of that.
Well, they were, but they also recruited from all over the state of Georgia.
High school was doing recruiting.
High school was recruiting football players
Oh hell! Even
and
California
basketball
made that
players.
illegal.
Wow.
And the families would get a job in Valdosta
Of course they would.
for the 3 years their sons were in high school.
Man, I thought Texas thought high school football would be a state religion. Didn't realize that Georgia was one upping them.
Oh, yeah. And this went on for, a good 20 years. And it was absolutely hilarious because everybody knew they were doing it,
Yep.
but nobody would say anything. Because that put Valdosta, Georgia, put the state of Georgia on the map for high school football in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to play some team out of California one time.
Probably Cal Poly Pomona.
I don't remember who it was, but apparently the game films got sent to Cal Poly Pomona or whoever it was, and the coach took one look, went, "Oh hell no!"
I'm surprised that someplace in Texas didn't take that as a challenge.
Give
Again,
it time.
Texas considers high school football the state religion.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is. They just choose to be sensible about it because they know if
I mean, when you have a high school stadium that holds 30,000 people,
No kidding.
you ever
right?
been to Gilmer, Texas, and seen their stadium? Gilmer, Texas, middle of nowhere, has one of the nicest high school stadiums you can ask for.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
the hell?
because they draw people from 70 to 100 miles around.
Yep.
If you want to get my little lady wound up, start talking about the cost for a local football stadium.
Yeah.
There will be fireworks.
Yeah,
Good or bad?
she hates it.
She's not a big fan.
But what she doesn't realize is that the reason they do that is in many parts of the state of
Oh, I
Texas,
know.
the sole entertainment.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But that's not true for.
And
Itchy Paw
my
County.
bad, it was Long Beach Polytechnic.
It's not true for Ichiba County. There's plenty of other. There's plenty of other amusement here.
Yeah, but our little stadium's not that big.
No, but it's fancy.
And then there's Allen High School Stadium, if you've ever seen that at all. That's absurd.
Oh, I've seen some.
Yeah.
I've seen some.
That one,
Midland,
yep.
back when they first got their tax checks from the oil boom, the Midland football coach fell to his knees and thanked God for what he was about to receive.
Odessa Permian.
Oh God, yes.
And then who else was there?
Yeah, anybody that remembers the show or movie Friday Night Lights,
Movie was better.
Well,
that's fact. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not
and
fiction. That's
toned,
fact.
It's toned down fact.
Yeah.
I like that they at least got Billy Bob Thornton in that movie.
But I can remember when Odessa Permian and Texarkana played for the 4A state championship and filled the Cotton Bowl.
Oh hell. 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
An East Texas high school team, their coach got sick or broke
Yeah.
something or couldn't play the game. So he calls his daddy,
Oh,
who's on a tractor up in the Panhandle, which is West Texas,
it
Yes.
was Stephen F. Austin down in Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches.
Yeah.
Calls his daddy, who had been before he retired a trophy-winning high school football coach. Daddy gets off the tractor, leaving it running.
Like you do.
Goes in to grab his overnight bag, kisses his wife, tells her to go shut off the tractor, and hauls butt for Nacogdoches and wins the next football game.
Yeah.
Like you do.
After driving 12 hours.
That is peak Texas.
Yeah, that it is.
And before anybody asks, no, we're not going to tell you how to spell Nacogdoches. Go look it up your damn self.
But that's okay. I can't make it. Daddy, can you fill in? They're out there, son.
There's some things where you can call your daddy for that.
And the team and the school system didn't say word one about it.
Nope.
And no assistant coach argued the point.
No.
Well, he'd won an ungodly number
Yeah.
of championships. But
His
he
son
was
was probably using the same playbook.
he retired out in, Panhandle on
Yeah.
his tractor and went, be right there.
That's Texas.
Methinks the retirement's not going as well as one might have.
No. Well, when you go, yeah, I have one friend that was a high school football coach, and before he became an athletic director.
Okay, well, I can see why that man had a career for as long as he did. in
But
football.
the thing was that it was a 12-hour-a-day job plus his teaching
Yep.
because he was expected to win.
Oh yeah.
So the scouting, doing all those other things, looking at tape, he said he literally damn near lost his eyesight reviewing tapes
Yep.
and trying to second guess what to do the next week.
Well, again,
And it didn't end when football season was over.
when you are a priest in the state religion of Texas,
Yep.
if you don't win during the Friday night ceremonies,
You're gone.
you're gone.
And I just checked his daddy's record: 124 and 69 and 1.
Yeah.
The man has a Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not that unusual in Texas.
Nope.
And I'm going to guarantee you, people don't go in and correct that Wikipedia page.
Well, they do. It just gets, there's a crap ton of ex-football players waiting to recorrect it.
Yeah.
Because football players worship their coaches.
And his daddy was in the middle of freaking harvesting cotton.
Like you do.
Well,
Left his tractor running.
yeah.
And his wife probably went and finished the harvest.
Yeah. Well, we had a little school just south of here win state championship this year.
Oh, Windhorst?
Yeah.
Have you seen their line?
Yeah. Well, that's a bunch of German farm boys.
That's a bunch of corn-fed slabs of blonde beef.
Yeah.
I mean, the friggin' offensive line looks like Scandinavian rock trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Windhorst is one of the 5 cities in North Texas founded by brothers from one German family,
Yeah.
German Catholic family. And Windhorst, that's a bunch of big blonde.
Yeah.
I will crush you. They're not kidding.
Yeah.
yeah,
They took on a team that was guaranteed to win their 4th state championship in a row and trounced them.
Anybody that goes up against Windhorst, you shouldn't bet on against
Yeah.
Windhorst.
Well, apparently a lot of people did. Went, oh, damn.
It's like Windhorst and San Joe going at it.
Yeah.
It's 2 brothers going at it.
Yeah.
If you want to see a fight, Windhorst
Yes.
and San Joe. Woohoo!
All right, throw in Munster.
Or Munster.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
You have to wonder about that family relationship
no
dynamics.
kidding. No kidding.
Because they stopped in different places.
Every brother went as far away from the other brother as they could.
Yeah.
Hey.
That tells you something.
Some families say, I love you. Some families say, I'm going to kick you in the shins and break them the next time I see you, which basically means I love you.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
No, they were probably going, I'm going to kill your ass.
Yeah. I've had to put up with you for 18 years.
Yeah.
Go away. Munster, San Joe, Windhorst, Haynesville. There's one of them.
Yeah, and I can't remember where it is.
Not in Nakoma.
No.
It doesn't have the proper German.
Uh-uh.
But the 5 brothers came over from Germany and settled, and their little community sprung up wherever they settled. And holy gods,
I want to say Henrietta.
might be Henrietta.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was my great grandmother's name.
But anyway, they strung across,
German Catholics, good German
Yeah.
Catholics.
and it's funny because they didn't go down to the German section of Texas.
No, probably because they were fed up. But we call it Windhorst.
Yeah.
And some of the old folks in Windhorst call it Windhorst.
Yeah.
And those boys, bunch of farm boys. It's a dairy.
It's a German dairy.
Well, Munster and San Joe the same
Yeah.
way. It's all German dairy. And those
New
boys,
Braunfels, similar places.
Yeah.
Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
Where they actually speak in
German.
actual Texas German. which is an honest to God language that's dying out that people need to learn.
The thing with Munster, though, is it's rather interesting because there's a store over there called Fisher's.
Fisher's Meat Market.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Oh,
I love their garlic cheese.
I love all their cheeses.
And Fisher's is a one-stop shop for a number of things,
I wonder if we could make hot links with that garlic cheese in it.
but also the fact that it's literally from farm to table.
Farm to table. They
Which I
have,
liked about it.
they have their own herd.
Yeah.
And they squeeze their own milk.
Everything is
make their own
fresh.
cheese.
Yep.
And when Bessie gets done, Bessie goes into the grinder.
Yeah.
Also, they have, God only knows how, they have some import thing with a couple of German wholesalers.
Yeah.
And you get sweets and spices and other stuff that you find in Germany, you
Yeah.
don't find here. You can get it at Fisher's.
Well, that's kind of like Wenzel's down there in
Oh,
Hamilton.
God. That's another German. Wenzel is another German. It's a butchery. It also they will process your deer for you.
Yes.
And you
They should.
walk in there, and we walked in there and said something. And next thing I know, I've got 3 links of Jagerverse shoved down my throat. And
Jagerverse.
then they asked me if I was hungry.
What is Jagerverse?
Hunter sausage.
Hunter
It's
sausage.
Sort of
It
a
is
jerky sausage.
good.
Huh.
And it will keep.
Yeah.
And they saw us come in there wearing camo, and they started throwing Hunterverse at it,
Yeah.
Jagerverse at us.
And then I asked if they were going to be open on Sunday because we were leaving on a Sunday. She says, no, but just come to the back door and knock.
Knock. Somebody will probably be here.
So
What?
I love small town Texas.
Oh, God, yes.
we went in and bought stuff and came back home.
That's why I showed it.
We
Polite
went back.
patronage.
And I had a brain cramp and ordered the chopped brisket sandwich. Didn't realize I think a pound and a half of
No, it wasn't
brisket.
brisket. It was pulled pork. Pork
Pulled
butt.
pork. I had a pound and a half of
Yeah.
it, I swear to God, on a brioche bun.
Yeah.
So there was more meat than bun on the damn thing.
It was literally 2 inches stacked meat.
I gotta see this.
Yeah.
Because my wife was just blown away at Buc-ee's yesterday. And hey, there's sliced brisket and fresh hot link sausages.
Yeah.
And she said, hot links just don't sound good. And so she just wolfed through this brisket. And it's like she had a steak of brisket on the sandwich. And she thinks this is great. And she told me that the hot links didn't sound good. 30 seconds later, the pregnant woman proved that was a lie. And she started digging into my damn hot link sandwich.
Oh, that's
She ate more of it than I did.
that's Red Hots.
Yeah.
Hot links in Texas.
Mm,
We had a
yes.
New Yorker. Was he New York? He was New York.
Yeah.
Come down, got hired on. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
At the sheriff's office and was talking about Georgia hot links, Georgia Red Hots,
Georgia Red Hots.
which
Yeah.
is what apparently they call hot links in New York.
Which are not.
And well, I was inquiring about what the hell is a Georgia Red Hot, and if it's a hot link, here you go. He said, well, I'm not a real big fan. Shut up, put it down your throat. Oh, that man loved hot links from then on.
When I first moved to Texas in 2006, I was introduced to hot links in Longview out at Big Dave's Barbecue.
Yeah.
As one of the dishes you could get out there, and it was amazing, and I loved it. And then I went back to California and tried to find hot links and all the other stuff I'd come to love over the preceding 2 years. And somebody tried to tell me that bratwurst soaked in Tabasco
Yeah.
counted as hot links, and I about knocked the hell out of them.
I got a hold of an alleged hot link in Watertown, whatever the town outside of Fort Drum, New York was.
Oh yeah.
I got
God forgot about this place and damned it to hell, New York.
I got a hold of allegedly a hot link at the same place. I should have known the same place where they served me chips and salsa, which was a bag of Fritos and ketchup with a spoonful of black pepper stirred in. Anyway,
Blech.
I ordered a hot link and got something that was chopped cardboard in a tube.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And we're making John hungry.
down in Hamilton, you got Wenzel's, and not quite across the street, you have El Jardín.
Yeah.
Which is a hole-in-the-wall Mexican place
Yep.
Which is the only ones worth going to.
where the kitchen, there's a lot of swearing and screaming in Spanish.
Yes,
Well, not Spanish, Tex-Mex. And holy gods, the food is good.
yes.
Speaking of restaurants, I want to ask a question here, just because I think you two would probably have the best answer for it.
Uh-oh,
If a Waffle House can pass the state health inspection,
it's not a Waffle House.
No,
what I figured.
It's been taken over by enemy forces.
yeah,
That's something else. Apparently, okay, folks, Waffle House. If you're going into Waffle House thinking it's hot cuisine,
it's not.
it's not. The cook is apparently required to have a felony record.
Yes,
Yeah.
the cook should look and act like he survived his way through 3 prison riots.
Yes,
Because he probably did.
and he can flip an
He
egg
or she.
or shank a fool
Yeah.
with equal celerity. The waitress is going to have smoker's cough, a baseball bat and or switchblade. She'll call you a hun or sugar.
Yeah.
The food is going to be exactly the same, whether you're in Amarillo, Texas, or Atlanta, Georgia, or paddle faster, I hear Banjos, Mississippi.
Yeah.
It will be exactly the same.
No.
And you can get it at noon, at 2 in the morning, or 3 days after gods lie dead on the cold iron earth.
Yeah.
The Waffle House will still give you fries and a side of hash browns. Don't go in there expecting hot cuisine. Go in there expecting the exact same food you get at every other Waffle House in creation.
Yep. Chunk colored and smothered.
Yep.
And
I just,
you will see Waffle Houses. You will see interstate exits that have 2 Waffle Houses at the same exit,
Mhm.
one on each side of the road.
Which is really odd for a franchise.
And they have entirely different customer bases.
Oh, yes.
And the customer bases never cross.
Nope.
nope.
They will not go to the other Waffle House.
Unless the cook and or the waitress moves over to the other Waffle House.
And that never happens.
That never happens. When it does, the customer base will follow the
Yeah.
waitress and or the cook.
Yep.
I mean, I have eaten a lot of food in Waffle Houses between 2 and 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I've seen some skulls thumped
You and me both.
in Waffle Houses between 2 and 4 in the morning, usually by the cook, sometimes by the waitress.
If humanity ever made it to the stars and encountered an alien species or an alien confederation of species, there would probably be Waffle Houses on the other side of the galaxy within 5 years, and they'd all be run under the same principle. You'd be able to get smothered and covered on the opposite end of the frickin' Milky Way galaxy.
Mhm. And
And-
that will be proof that God is real and loves us.
Yeah.
Because Waffle House, for God's sake, I mean, it's comfort food.
Yeah. it's
There'll
plain
be
food.
enough of it.
Yeah.
Mabel, the waitress, will serve you coffee until your back teeth are floating.
Mhm.
And if it survives, I don't know why health inspectors bother going in there. The great thing about a Waffle House is you watch the cook your food.
Yeah. Ken says, you're safe in Banjo country unless you look like Ned Beatty. Good one, Ken.
And then they start looking and saying, "You got a pretty mouth,
But
boy."
you sit at the bar or in the booth, you're looking at the cook
Yeah.
who's cooking your food. I mean, that's the
Yep.
great thing about it.
We're talking about a company where a guy walked in the middle of the night, found that the wait staff and the cook staff were all passed out asleep in the back, and made his own meal
And paid for it.
and paid for it, and walked back out, and everything was fine.
Yeah. And left a tip.
Damn decent of him.
Yeah.
Well, it's
And the Waffle House Index is not a joke.
It's not a joke. Well, during Katrina.
Yeah.
There was some East or West Coast big city news crew was dotting their cupcakes because they're looking at a Waffle House where the lights are on, and you can barely, through the driving wind and the stop signs flying by, see the cook slinging hash.
Yep.
As they should
And
be.
there's people going in, get food, going outside, getting blown ass over tin cups down the street. How can it still be open? It's Waffle House.
Jonna, we will take you to a Waffle House
Oh God. Get their waffles and get their hash browns. You want it scattered, smothered,
and covered.
chunk diced.
Yeah.
I used to be able to tell Mabel. They're all named Mabel. I think there's a standard issue waitress Waffle House, one each.
Yeah. One each.
Um,
Mid 60s, straggly.
they have a list on the menu
Yeah.
And you tell the waitress, I want a double order, scattered, smothered, chunked, diced, topped, and something else.
Covered.
And every one of them means something else.
Yeah.
And then she'll turn around and yell at the cook, one double order, yatta, 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 yatta. And then you get it. And if you go, wait a minute, this isn't right, the cook goes, fuck, and redoes your order. Because he's right there and
Yeah.
he can hear you.
I get an omelet, or not an omelet, a waffle. I get bacon. I get orange juice. I get coffee. That's it. But it is the same regardless, and I've eaten in Waffle Houses all over the South.
The food tastes exactly the same.
Yeah.
They clone the cooks and the waitresses, I swear, because
Yeah.
I don't care what shade their skin is. They've got the same voice, the
Yep.
same attitude. They all call you hun or sugar or
Yeah.
darling, and they will all club you with a tray or a baseball bat if you get stupid.
Yep. And Sarah says you need the biscuits and gravy to weigh you down so the hurricane won't blow you away. Yeah, the biscuits and gravy is pretty heavyweight.
Yeah.
The
Ken said if the weather's so bad, Waffle House closed, it's already too late to evac.
Yeah, no kidding.
We had in my last job, the woman they put in as the director of things, essentially, and one of the school VPs was from Atlanta, and she was complaining about the lack of Waffle House. So we went and looked it up, and for the nearest Waffle House is St. George, Utah, was in central Arizona. And we told her, the school could sponsor a race and just let the different affiliate organizations try and race over the road all the way to Arizona so you can come back with a plate of Waffle House for you first.
I wouldn't be surprised if she hadn't gotten in the car and driven there herself.
I saw a waitress give a man probable brain damage for grabbing her boob when she leaned over the partition and put his.
Yeah.
And the cook thumped out his cigarette, walked around in, grabbed him by the collar, dragged him outside, went through his pockets, got his wallet.
Came back in and paid for the meal and
Yep.
threw the wallet back out the
and
door.
flung the wallet back out the door in his own direction.
Yep.
Good.
I know of one Waffle House in South Carolina that's had at least 3 weddings
Oh God, yes.
in the Waffle House.
Yeah. Well, when I was going through the academy at Panhandle Regional, there was a Waffle House just down the road. And we'd get out of the, we're supposed to be getting out at 10. We usually get out about midnight.
Yeah.
And we'd go down to the Waffle House. And Waffle Houses aren't big. There's not a lot of seating in the Waffle House. And we all cram into the booths. And Mabel got to know us.
Yeah.
And I had the same, I had coffee, water, and my thing on hash browns. And it got to where
You walked through the door and it was already over.
and she's already told the cook to start making it. And one time we were about to graduate and I was feeling feisty. I told her, well, actually I wanted waffles. She turned around and told me, shut up and eat waffles in front of me. And I said yes to her.
Yeah.
There was a
Kind of like that little restaurant
Pretty.
in Pretty.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
there's a
What don't you want?
Have you ever seen a 6'9", 250-pound deputy sheriff sit down and go, yes, ma'am?
oh, who was it? It was Georgia just a few years ago. They had shootings at Waffle Houses. And it's like somebody didn't get the memo.
Was the cook returning fire?
No.
Oh,
Couple of 3 jokers in both scenarios walked in and tried to hold the place up
that was dumb.
at 2 a.m.
That was worse.
Oh,
They didn't check the corners and note that the lone white guy sitting there with a ball cap on minding his own dadgum business. A white guy at a Waffle House at 2 a.m. minding his own business is probably armed, which he was. And the second these idiots pulled guns out and started putting them in the people's faces and saying, give us your stuff, this guy proceeded to unload on them. And it happened a couple of times. And it's like, did you not learn from the last one?
Well,
no.
the thing about Waffle House is the owner of Waffle House probably gave him free meals for a year.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we're at Pretty. Pretty has got a gas station, and you wouldn't believe in the back's a pretty good.
Yeah.
Is a pretty good restaurant. And we go in there and order, and the waitress comes up and says, "Do you want dessert?" And behind her is this great big whiteboard with a list of pies on there. And our friend Matt looks up and says, "Yeah, I think I want." She said, "You're having pecan."
Yeah.
He went, yes, ma'am.
She goes, I made it. You're having a pecan.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the whole order was that one.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, you're going to have the fries with that. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I say, I'm getting sourdough something or other. She let me pick my sandwich. She didn't let me pick the sauce that were on the sandwich. She didn't let me pick the side that came with some, but she was right. I gotta
Yeah.
get it. She was right.
And we've wasted another hour of your time, folks.
Holy gods, we have.
Probably is like trying to rob the Hell's Angels. It's not going to end well, and you're going to get your ass beat. Yep,
Well,
pretty much a
At
true
2 in the
story.
morning, it's probably the Hell's Angels.
Yeah, yeah, and they do defend their turf. Well,
that-
anyway,
that
folks.
or off-duty.
Yeah.
I've seen more off-duty cops at Waffle House than I do at IHOP.
Yeah.
I won't eat at IHOP unless somebody makes me.
No,
I had stopped eating at IHOP when they kept giving me crap service.
Yeah, if there's a Waffle House or an IHOP, you'll never see me crossing the IHOP threshold.
well, folks, it's a new year. We'll try this again. Let's hope that 2021 is better than 2020 was.
Well, Thursday I'm doing that chicken for lunch.
Yeah, and then, just remember, we're on our own. It's
Always
up
have
to
been.
us.
Always have been.
Yeah.
Remember the Graham Combat Kill House rules.
Yeah.
Live them, love them, learn them.
Yep. And make sure that you take care of yourselves, you take care of your friends. And if you haven't heard from somebody, reach out and check on them. Okay? And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Stay safe, folks.
We'll see you. Bye.